Let's explore with Animal Prime. It almost never begins with fear. It begins with something ordinary. A quiet drive home as the sun dips low behind the trees. A family stroll through a neighborhood park. A weekend visit to a small ranch where children point excitedly at animals they've seen their entire lives. Nothing about these moments feels dangerous. And yet this is where most unexpected animal encounters actually happen. Not in remote jungles, not deep in uncharted wilderness, but right here, where humans and animals share the same space, often without realizing how thin that boundary truly is. Today, we're exploring unexpected animals involved in human incidents more often than you think. These aren't predators driven by hunger. They aren't rare or exotic creatures. They are familiar animals, beautiful, calm, and deeply woven into everyday American life. And because we see them so often, we forget how quickly an ordinary moment can turn into an animal encounter caught on camera, changing lives in a matter of seconds. If you've ever slowed down for an animal crossing sign, if you've ever stood just a little too close to a farm animal, if you've ever assumed an animal would move away, this story includes you. Across the United States, one animal is involved in more human incidents than any other wild species. Not because it's aggressive, but because it's everywhere. The white-tailed deer moves like a quiet shadow through forests, fields, and suburban edges. Its slender frame and alert eyes have become symbols of calm and natural beauty. For many people, seeing a deer feels like a gift, something peaceful in an increasingly busy world. But on the road, that beauty becomes something else entirely. Every year, countless animal encounters caught on camera show the same pattern. Headlights sweep across the pavement, a shape appears at the edge of the road, and for just a heartbeat, everything freezes. The deer doesn't charge, it doesn't panic. Deer are involved in more vehicle incidents than any other wild animal in America. Not because they seek conflict, but because roads now cut directly through ancient migration paths. Deer move most at dawn and dusk, the exact hours humans are commuting. Their eyes are built to detect motion, not velocity, which means a fast-moving car doesn't register as danger until it's almost too late. In many videos, the collision isn't even shown. What stays with you is the moment before it, the silence, the stillness, the sense that something irreversible is about to happen. This is wildlife-human conflict in its most invisible form. No aggression, no intent. Just two worlds crossing at the wrong time. If the deer represents silent risk, the horse represents power hidden behind trust. Horses have walked beside humans for thousands of years. They've carried explorers across continents, pulled plows through fields, and taught children how to ride. Their size is obvious, but their calm demeanor makes that size feel manageable, safe, even familiar. That familiarity is where many human incidents begin. In ranch footage and trail riding clips, incidents often happen during routine moments. Grooming, saddling, leading a horse through a narrow space. There's no warning growl. No dramatic buildup. Just a sudden shift, a sound, a movement, a pressure the horse interprets as a threat. Horses are prey animals. Their survival depends on reacting faster than thought. A single reflexive movement from an animal weighing over 1,000 pounds can overpower human balance in an instant. These are unexpected animal encounters, not because horses are dangerous, but because people forget how quickly instinct can override training. Watch closely in many animal encounters caught on camera, and you'll notice something important. The horse isn't attacking, it's reacting. Its body language speaks before humans have time to listen. Understanding that difference between aggression and instinct is what separates safe interaction from serious injury. Horses communicate through weight shifts, muscle tension, and space. When those signals are missed, the consequences can be immediate. And then there's an animal so common in urban spaces that many people no longer think of it as wildlife at all. The Canada goose. They gather on golf courses, school campuses, and city ponds, moving slowly and confidently through human crowds. To most people, they seem harmless, almost comical, a background presence in parks designed for relaxation, until nesting season arrives. During this time, a goose's world becomes extremely small and fiercely protected. A perceived threat doesn't have to be close. It simply has to exist. In countless viral clips, people find themselves running, not because they did something wrong, but because they unknowingly crossed an invisible boundary. Geese don't stalk, they don't ambush, they warn. Wings spread wide, bodies raised, they rely on intimidation to protect their space. Most encounters end without injury, but the surprise alone is often enough to cause panic, falls, or secondary accidents. These moments may look humorous on screen, but they are another example of unexpected animals involved in human incidents simply because humans underestimate proximity. What connects the deer, the horse, and the goose isn't danger, it's familiarity. These animals don't seek conflict, they share space with us. And as human development continues to expand, wildlife-human conflict becomes less about wilderness and more about everyday life. Before we go any further, take a moment and think about this. Have you ever had a close call with an animal you didn't expect to be dangerous? Have you ever watched an animal encounter caught on camera and thought, that could have been me? If so, you're not alone. And your experience is exactly why understanding these encounters matters. Because the most dangerous animal moments don't always look dramatic. Sometimes they look exactly like an ordinary day, right up until they aren't. Some animals don't surprise us because they are fast. They surprise us because they are there, so large that the mind struggles to measure them. So still that danger doesn't announce itself until distance disappears. In the world of unexpected animals involved in human incidents, size often becomes the greatest misunderstanding. We see these animals from afar, on postcards, documentaries, national park signs, and we assume distance equals safety. But when that distance collapses, even briefly, the outcome can be life-changing. Few animals demonstrate this more clearly than the moose. A moose doesn't look aggressive. In fact, standing alone at the edge of a road, it can appear almost calm. Long legs, massive body, a silhouette that feels ancient rather than threatening. But that scale is exactly what makes moose among the most dangerous animals involved in vehicle incidents across northern regions of the United States. When a moose steps onto a roadway, the danger isn't speed, it's geometry. A car colliding with a deer typically strikes the animal's torso. With a moose, the legs absorb the initial impact, causing the full body mass, often over 1,000 pounds, to collapse directly onto the windshield. Many animal encounters caught on camera show the same chilling pattern. A vehicle stops suddenly, the camera shakes, and the frame fills with dark mass and glass. The moose isn't charging, it isn't defending territory. It's crossing, often during winter months when roads cut through feeding routes. What turns this into wildlife-human conflict is not behavior, but infrastructure. Roads move through landscapes that once belonged entirely to animals whose survival depends on predictable paths. In many near-miss clips, drivers freeze, unsure whether to stop or continue. And in that hesitation lies the danger. Moose don't move like deer. They don't dart. They pause. And when they do move, it's often too late to adjust. If the moose is a collision of mass and momentum, the elk represents something different, proximity shaped by curiosity. Elk are among the most visually striking animals in North America. Their size commands attention, but it's their behavior that often draws people closer than they should be. In national parks and mountain towns, elk appear comfortable around humans, grazing near roads, standing silently in open fields, moving through residential neighborhoods as if they belong there. That comfort is deceptive. During mating season, elk behavior shifts dramatically. Males become territorial, unpredictable, and intensely focused on dominance. In many unexpected animal encounters, people misinterpret an elk's stillness as calm, stepping closer for photos or lingering too long in shared spaces. In reality, the elk is making calculations of its own. Unlike predators, elk don't need to advance to assert dominance. A sudden charge, a powerful kick, or even a forceful bluff can cause panic, leading to falls, collisions, or secondary injuries. In several animal encounters caught on camera, the incident begins not with movement, but with the absence of it, the moment a person realizes the animal isn't moving away. This is wildlife-human conflict born not from aggression, but from misread signals. Elk are not accustomed to human body language. They respond to posture, distance, and perceived challenge. When humans fail to recognize those cues, the outcome is often confusion rather than intent. Then there is an animal so iconic that people forget it is entirely wild: the American bison. Seen by millions of visitors each year, bison have become symbols of resilience and national heritage. Their slow gait and calm appearance suggest tolerance. They move through traffic in national parks, stand beside cars, and appear unbothered by crowds gathering just feet away. But this familiarity masks reality. Bison are among the most unpredictable large mammals in North America. Their calm is not submission, it's neutrality. And neutrality can vanish in an instant. In many animal encounters caught on camera, bison incidents occur because people underestimate how quickly several thousand pounds of muscle can shift direction. Unlike predators, bison do not stalk. They react. A sudden movement, a sound, or a perceived encroachment can trigger a charge that covers ground far faster than expected. The danger is not pursuit, but proximity. Once a human is within range, reaction time disappears. What these encounters reveal is a shared pattern across species. Whether it's a moose on a winter road, an elk near a hiking trail, or a bison beside a parked car, the incident isn't caused by hostility. It's caused by overlap. In each case, the animal is doing exactly what it evolved to do: move, protect, exist. The human is doing the same. The conflict arises not from intent, but from assumption. Assumption that size equals slowness. Assumption that calm equals safety. Assumption that a moment is under control because it looks familiar. This is why unexpected animals involved in human incidents so often surprise us. Not because they behave unusually, but because we misjudge what normal behavior looks like when wild instincts meet human environments. If you've ever slowed your car in a national park and wondered whether to stop or keep going, if you've ever stood closer than recommended because nothing seemed wrong, if you've ever watched an animal encounter caught on camera and felt your stomach tighten halfway through, that reaction is awareness forming. Before continuing, consider this. When was the last time you assumed distance meant safety? When did familiarity replace caution? Understanding these moments doesn't make the wild less beautiful. It makes our place within it clearer, because as human spaces expand, wildlife-human conflict isn't moving farther away. It's moving closer to home. And sometimes the most dangerous animals are not the ones we fear, but the ones we stop paying attention to. Some of the most unsettling, unexpected animal encounters don't happen in national parks or remote highways. They happen in places that feel ordinary, where fences, sidewalks, and familiar routines create the illusion of control. A farm gate swings open, a suburban trash bin tips over, a quiet road cuts through open land. In these spaces, the line between human and animal life doesn't feel dramatic, it feels domestic. And that's exactly why incidents catch people off guard. In the story of unexpected animals involved in human incidents, few animals are more misunderstood than cattle. Cows are everywhere in rural America. They graze peacefully behind fences, move slowly across open fields, and appear calm to the point of indifference. Many people grow up believing cattle are gentle by default. Large, yes, but predictable. What's often overlooked is that cattle are herd animals with powerful instincts tied to movement and pressure. In farm footage and ranch clips, many incidents occur during routine tasks, herding, loading, or simply walking through a confined space. There's no sudden aggression, only a surge of mass moving as one. When cattle feel crowded or startled, they don't single out a threat. They respond as a group. A shift in direction, a loud sound, or an unfamiliar presence can trigger a chain reaction that leaves no room to step aside. In several animal encounters caught on camera, the danger isn't impact. It's being knocked down, pinned, or unable to regain footing as hundreds of pounds move past. This is wildlife-human conflict shaped not by wildness, but by proximity and assumption. People trust routine. Animals trust instinct. When those collide, the outcome is rarely dramatic, but often serious. If cattle represent the risks of shared workspaces, feral hogs represent the risks of shared neighborhoods. Across parts of the southern United States, wild boar, often referred to as feral hogs, have expanded rapidly into suburban and semi-rural areas. Unlike deer or elk, these animals are rarely admired from a distance. They are powerful, adaptable, and increasingly present where people least expect them. Many unexpected animal encounters with feral hogs happen at night. Trail cameras capture their movements through backyards, across lawns, and along quiet streets. Garbage bins are overturned. Fences are damaged. Gardens disappear overnight. Most hog encounters don't involve direct confrontation. The danger lies in surprise. A startled hog reacts instantly, relying on strength and momentum to escape what it perceives as a threat. In several animal encounters caught on camera, people stumble backward, trip, or freeze, unsure how to respond to an animal that doesn't fit their mental image of local wildlife. What makes feral hogs particularly challenging is their intelligence. They learn quickly. They adapt to human schedules. And as human development spreads, wildlife-human conflict becomes less about distance and more about overlap. Two species navigating the same space at different times of day. Then there is an animal so familiar in American neighborhoods that many people forget it is, in fact, wild. The raccoon. Small, agile, and endlessly resourceful, raccoons have mastered urban survival. They climb, open, pry, and adapt with remarkable precision. For most people, raccoons are background characters, appearing briefly at dusk before disappearing into the night. But familiarity breeds complacency. In many unexpected animal encounters, raccoon incidents begin with curiosity. A person approaches too closely. A pet reacts. A cornered raccoon feels trapped between escape routes. Unlike larger animals, raccoons don't rely on intimidation through size. They rely on speed, teeth, and unpredictability. In animal encounters caught on camera, raccoon incidents often look chaotic rather than forceful. Sudden movements, quick lunges, startled reactions. Injuries tend to be secondary: falls, bites during attempts to intervene, or conflicts involving pets. What these moments reveal is not aggression, but survival. Raccoons thrive because they read environments quickly. When they feel cornered, they act decisively. The human mistake is assuming small size equals low risk. Some animals surprise us because they are fast, others because they are massive, and then there are animals that surprise us because we underestimate them entirely. In the landscape of unexpected animals involved in human incidents, no creature illustrates this blind spot more clearly than the donkey. And its close relative, the mule. They don't inspire fear. They don't dominate postcards or warning signs. In popular culture, donkeys are portrayed as stubborn, slow, even comical. Mules are seen as working animals, tools rather than individuals. That perception shapes how people behave around them, and that behavior, more than anything else, is what leads to incidents. Across farms, ranches, petting zoos, and tourist trails, donkeys and mules are often treated as predictable. They stand quietly, they lower their heads, they wait. To human eyes, that stillness feels like compliance. But stillness is not submission. Donkeys and mules evolved in harsh environments where survival depended on caution rather than speed. Unlike horses, which flee at the first hint of danger, donkeys stop. They assess, they decide. That pause, often mistaken for stubbornness, is actually a survival strategy. In many unexpected animal encounters, that pause is where humans miscalculate. Footage from farms and rural properties shows a recurring pattern. When a donkey or mule decides to resist, the force involved surprises everyone. Despite their compact appearance, these animals possess extraordinary strength. Their muscles are dense, their balance exceptional. A sudden kick, a sideways shove, or a refusal to move can unseat a handler or knock someone off balance before they realize resistance has begun. In several animal encounters caught on camera, the moment of impact isn't dramatic. It's abrupt, silent, and deeply unexpected. What makes these incidents particularly revealing is intent. The donkey isn't attacking. The mule isn't asserting dominance. They are enforcing boundaries. This is wildlife-human conflict in a subtle but powerful form. Conflict born from misinterpretation rather than confrontation. Humans assume obedience. The animal assumes caution. When those assumptions collide, injuries occur not because of aggression, but because strength was ignored. Tourism adds another layer to this misunderstanding. In many parts of the country, donkeys and mules are used for trail rides, pack work, and family-friendly attractions. Visitors approach them with relaxed expectations, often shaped by brief interactions rather than lived experience. In these settings, unexpected animal encounters often occur when people forget that working animals are still animals. A sudden noise, an unfamiliar weight shift, a child moving unpredictably. The mule responds the only way it knows how, by protecting itself. In animal encounters caught on camera, the danger lies not in speed, but in force delivered without warning. What donkeys and mules reveal is something larger about our relationship with animals we think we understand. Familiarity lowers our guard. Utility replaces respect. Silence is mistaken for consent. Across the spectrum of unexpected animals involved in human incidents, the pattern repeats. Whether the animal is large or small, wild or domesticated, the most serious moments happen when humans assume predictability. Animals don't operate on schedules. They don't respond to intention. They respond to pressure, space, and instinct. In rural communities, this understanding is often learned early. But for visitors, hobbyists, or families encountering these animals casually, that knowledge gap becomes dangerous. This is not a story about fear. It's a story about attention. Before you move closer, before you place a hand, before you step into shared space, ask yourself what the animal is communicating, not with sound, but with posture and stillness. Have you ever mistaken quiet for calm? Have you ever assumed strength only mattered when it looked dramatic? If so, you're not alone. Many of the most memorable animal encounters caught on camera don't involve chaos. They involve moments where nothing seemed wrong until it was. In the end, donkeys and mules remind us of something essential about coexistence. Power does not always announce itself. Sometimes it waits, sometimes it watches, and sometimes it acts only when it has no other choice. Understanding that difference doesn't make the world more dangerous. It makes us more aware. Because when we share space with animals, whether on a farm, a trail, or a quiet rural road, wildlife-human conflict isn't about dominance. It's about listening. And the animals we overlook may be the ones with the most to teach us, if we're willing to pay attention. By now, one truth should feel unmistakable. The animals most often involved in human incidents are not monsters hiding in the shadows. They are neighbors, moving quietly through the same spaces we use every day. Roads, parks, farms, trails, backyards. In the world of unexpected animals involved in human incidents, danger rarely announces itself. It doesn't roar. It doesn't charge from the darkness. It arrives through familiarity, through moments that feel routine until they aren't. This is why so many animal encounters caught on camera look deceptively calm right up until the turning point. A pause, a step closer, a second too long. What follows isn't violence, it's reaction, instinct meeting proximity, nature responding to pressure. This pattern, so consistent across species, reveals the heart of wildlife-human conflict. It is not a battle for dominance. It is a misunderstanding of boundaries. Animals don't measure risk the way humans do. They don't interpret intention or courtesy. They read space, movement, and energy. When those signals cross a threshold, action follows. Not out of cruelty, but necessity. That distinction matters, because when we label these moments as attacks, we miss the lesson entirely. We place blame where there is only biology. We turn coexistence into conflict and curiosity into fear. The reality is far more instructive. Across countless unexpected animal encounters, one factor appears again and again: human assumption. The belief that size predicts speed, that calm predicts safety, that familiarity predicts control. It doesn't. Understanding this changes how we move through the world. It changes how we slow down at dusk on rural roads, how we give space in parks, how we teach children to observe rather than approach, how we recognize that sharing space with animals requires attention, not dominance. And this understanding isn't about distancing ourselves from nature, it's about reconnecting with it on honest terms. Because the wild hasn't disappeared, it has adapted. Animals adjust to traffic patterns, to human schedules, to suburban landscapes that grow a little closer each year. Wildlife-human conflict doesn't increase because animals become more dangerous. It increases because overlap becomes unavoidable. So the responsibility shifts to us. Awareness is not fear, respect is not avoidance, knowledge is not limitation. They are tools, tools that reduce harm on both sides of the boundary. When we understand why an animal pauses instead of fleeing, we stop pushing. When we recognize warning signals instead of ignoring them, we step back. When we see an animal encounter caught on camera, we don't ask who was wrong. We ask what could have been understood sooner. That question saves lives, human and animal alike. And this is where the story becomes personal. Think back to a moment when you felt unexpectedly close to an animal. A deer frozen in your headlights, a large animal standing closer than expected, a quiet presence that suddenly felt very real. What did you feel first? Surprise, confusion, hesitation? Those feelings are universal. They are the moment awareness begins. If you've ever experienced an unexpected animal encounter, share it in the comments. Not for shock, not for spectacle, but for understanding. Your story could help someone recognize a warning sign they didn't know existed. It could help a family slow down at the right moment. It could help an animal remain wild instead of becoming a headline. And if you've never had that moment, consider this your invitation to pay closer attention. Because coexistence isn't passive, it's learned. As we move forward into expanding cities, busier roads, and shared landscapes, the choice isn't between safety and wonder, it's between ignorance and understanding. the animals will continue to be what they have always been: instinctive, powerful, beautiful, unpredictable. The question is whether we're willing to meet them with the awareness they deserve. If this journey through unexpected animals involved in human incidents changed the way you see the everyday wild, let us know. Subscribe if you want more stories that reveal how nature truly works, not as spectacle, but as a system we are part of. Because when we listen instead of assume, when we observe instead of rush, and when we respect instead of react, wildlife-human conflict becomes something else entirely. It becomes coexistence. And that understanding might be the most powerful tool we have.